Lexi, we are here today. We're going to talk about the new Titleist irons. So they've got a bunch of new offerings all throughout their lineup. So we will talk about what each of these are, what type of player they're for, the features, the benefits, and then we'll have you hit some shots with it.
Awesome.
We'll compare the data.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So first up, we've got the T100. This is Titleist's offering. This is kind of their modern tour iron. It's going to be built for those golfers who have a little bit lower handicap. There's not a ton of forgiveness built in here. It is forged. It's got a really sleek player's design. So really good looking iron. Just going to be, again, for your better players out there. Titleist kind of bills it as like their modern tour iron. So we'll have you hit a couple of this one and we'll kind of see what the data shows.
Let's do it. I will say when I look down at it, it's a lot thinner and smaller than the head that I use. I use a game improvement iron, so I have a thicker bottom and top line, and this is a little intimidating to look down at.
It's definitely going to be a little sleeker design. It's built, like I said, for more of like your better golfers, your tour players. It's kind of that iron that you're going to see a lot of guys out on tour potentially playing. So,
wow, I might have just gotten lucky. Okay, I'm not gonna swing with this one anymore.
Okay.
I think
just one and done?
Yeah, let's just one and done it.
That's fair.
Everyone will think I'm really good at golf.
It's totally fine.
Wow. Okay. I'm feeling good about this.
There's a lot of pressure on these other ones that you're gonna have to hit.
right? Oh. It's a little toey. A little bit of a slice, fade slice. So yeah, for that one, I definitely towed it, and you could see I lost about like 20 yards of distance, so not as forgiving as whereas my iron will pretty much keep that same distance even when I tow it.
100%. What you're gonna see with a lot of these more players irons, they typically come in a little bit more of your traditional lofts. So for you launch it extremely high. That's why you see that launch angle up in like the mid 20s, which isn't necessarily a good thing for you. But yeah, the biggest thing that you're gonna notice with an iron like this, what a lot of players out there will notice is if you're not a very highly skilled golfer where you hit the golf ball in the same spot on the face every single time, the inconsistency that you're gonna get as far as not only direction, but also distance control is really kind of the big negative with this one. So that's why you'll see a lot of better players kind of playing this and preferring this iron just because of how it's designed, because of its shape, and because of the ability that they have to control where they strike it on the face. They're not gonna have as much of that inconsistency from front to back or left to right like somebody like yourself would.
Yeah, so when looking at that launch angle, 26 degrees, obviously that's really far to the optimal range. Is the reason why better players are able to keep that in the optimal range because they have more forward shaft lean?
Yep. So
and I am kind of going like this.
Yeah, so your better golfers will have their hips sway more towards the target. They'll have a little bit more lead wrist flexion, which will help de-loft the club. The handle will be more towards the target. For some of the higher handicap golfers out there who do the exact opposite, when you combine all of those things with a club that has a more traditional loft, that's where you'll see that launch angle be extremely high.
Okay.
One of the big reasons why your spin rates are so low, this is an extremely heavy steel stiff shaft. So, again, not something you would typically play, but as you go heavier and stiffer, that can also help to bring the spin down.
Okay, interesting. Should we try the next iron out?
Let's do the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so next up we've got the T150. This is dubbed by Titleist as the faster player's iron. So very, very similar to the T100. Couple key differences here. There is, each of these irons is lofted 1 degree stronger. So it's gonna help you hit the ball a little further. And the head is slightly larger in the 150 versus the 100. So a little bit more forgiveness in there, a little bit more distance built in. This is really geared for that player who's still potentially a really low handicap, really good golfer, but just wants to create a little bit more speed and hit the ball a little bit further. So hit a few with that one. Let's see if you create any more distance with that guy.
Let's see it. Yeah, you could tell the sole on this one looks a little longer than the other one. It doesn't really look that much thicker.
No, it's just a slightly bigger head. So it's just gonna give you a little bit more of that confidence when you look down. Not quite as small or as compact of a design like the T100.
That one felt nice.
That one pretty well.
Yep.
See how that carries just a little bit further?
Yep. think that launch angle might be a little lower.
Maybe a touch versus the previous few that you've hit. We'll hit a few and get an average here, but.
Whoops. That wasn't supposed to happen.
It's okay.
Even still on that, I got a little more distance than I did on the other one when I hit it toey.
Yep. That's that slightly larger head profile. Just gives you a little bit more of the consistency on those miss hits.
That one I still hit a little bit to the right.
Okay.
Good descent angle.
That's fine. So Lexi, similar story on the T150s. Again, just not a ton of forgiveness, even in these irons, even though the head is slightly bigger. But what we did see is when you hit it well, you actually carried it probably another, what, 5-ish yards?
Yeah, something like that.
You're right around that kind of 150 mark. You carried the one you hit the best, like close to 155, 160. So that extra or that stronger loft helps you with the distance component. Again, these are going to be geared more towards your better players. So if you're a mid to high handicap, yeah, these might look really cool, but they're not going to provide you with any of the benefits that you actually need to play this game a little bit better. So they look great. They're awesome irons for your lower handicap players, but may not be a great fit for the average golfer out there.
Yeah, I do love the look of these, but I'm excited to see what the more forgiving ones do for my shot.
Let's take a look at those next.
Okay. So this is the T250 iron, and I actually took this iron out to the course the other day to do a little test because Titleist is saying that this iron was built to have spin consistency in both the rough and the fairways. So their grooves are more V-shaped than U-shaped as in the past. And I used the SkyTrack to measure backspin in both the rough and the fairway, and it was only 50 RPM difference.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. So, yeah, Lex, you did a great job of introducing the T250. This is going to be kind of that iron for really a vast majority of the golfers out there. Still going to get a great distance iron out of this. It's built for creating more speed, to create more power. Like you talked about the grooves, that consistency with the different lies is going to be super important. But this one would probably be a great option for someone like yourself, who's maybe not like a super low handicap, but also isn't somebody who needs like maximum forgiveness, right? It's kind of that middle of the road option that's going to fit a bunch of players. It's going to help a ton of people hit the ball higher, straighter, all the things that we're looking for. So let's hit a few of this one and test it out.
Yeah, let's test it out. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Might be my best shot of the day. Wow, 161 carry. So that's a pretty good difference between this one and the 100 and the 150.
So here's another cool feature about the T250s. They offer this head as well, like in a lighter weight.
Okay.
It's an overall just lighter head. So, and it has a higher loft. So you have those players who really need to increase launch and are trying to increase distance. This T250 option where they basically have like a HL can really help to create that higher launch and more distance. So that's a really cool feature in the T250 as well.
Okay. Oh, I did top that one a bit. But even still, off-center hit, didn't lose too much distance.
That's the beauty of the bigger, more forgiving heads. Like, you don't hit it perfect, you still get a pretty reasonable result. You don't lose a ton of distance. So definitely a good option for anybody out there who struggles with just consistent contact on the face.
Okay, let's do one more, see if we get a good one. Oh, beautiful. We could end with that one. Let's see.
Same thing.
And 160 carry
Carrying
again.
160, rolling out to about 170-ish. So really good option for, again, a lot of those golfers out there who maybe aren't the best players in the world, but still want something that looks really nice and isn't that bulky game improvement head. So this is a great option from Titleist, and you get the flexibility with that lightweight head if you really need to optimize it. If somebody who's doing a fitting, that'd be a great way to sort of help somebody create the ideal launch windows that they're looking for.
Yeah, this one's awesome. And let's take a look at the T350 now.
Let's do it. So last but certainly not least, the T350 from Titleist. This is their ultimate game improvement iron. This is really the one that you're gonna have if you're somebody who's really struggling with this game and is looking for the most amount of forgiveness and the most amount of distance. This is your answer to that. So biggest head shape, most consistency as far as miss hits you'll see with this one. So highest MOI basically. This is a really good option for, like I said, those higher handicap players who are just looking for as much forgiveness as they can possibly get in an iron. So let's see you hit a few of this one. I wouldn't be surprised if you hit this a little further.
Oh yeah, let's hope. And just looking at these irons, for a game improvement iron, it doesn't look like a game improvement iron.
No, and I think that's the cool part about what Titleist does. Even though there's a ton of cool stuff built in there for forgiveness in this iron, it's still not this bulky, massive club head that you're gonna hate looking down at. So I think there's definitely a market out there and an audience for that club. It's just gonna be, again, geared for those players who are looking for the most amount of forgiveness and the most amount of distance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, holy. Well, that's 16 yards further than I hit with the last one.
Like I said, if you're looking for just distance, this is really the iron that you would want to play. Like, it's definitely going to go the furthest.
Yeah, I mean, significantly farther. That's crazy.
Same thing.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
So because of all the cool tech that they have in the head, this is going to have a much stronger loft than like your T100 or your T150. Again, your swing's not changing. You're not doing anything different.
Yeah.
You can see how your launch angle starts to come down. Okay, it's because of the stronger loft. The reason that club companies are doing that, by the way, is because of all the cool tech that they build in there. If they kept the lofts the same as like on a player's iron, so like if it had the T100 loft in the T350, that ball would launch so high that it would be unusable.
Okay.
Right, so what they basically do is they change the loft of the club to achieve the desired launch windows that you're looking for, so that you're not hitting a 7-iron as high as you would like a pitching wedge.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Wow, 173 carry. I like this club.
It's a good one. It's a good option for sure. So 4 really, really cool lines from Titleist in the irons. We got the T100s, the T150s, the T250s, and the T350s. I think the biggest thing here is if you're interested in these, definitely go get fit. Go get fit by somebody who knows what they're doing. They'll be able to put you in the right head based off of what your preferences are. But I'm gonna ask you the question. I know you've only hit like 12 shots, but which one of them would you go with?
I think I would go with the T250.
Okay.
I like that I was still getting a bit more backspin and a bit more launch angle to help it stop. But I don't know, this one made me feel like a really good golfer hitting it so far. So
that's okay.
I definitely have to get fit to figure out which one is best for me.
That's the whole point. Yep. So go get fit at a local GOLFTEC. They'll be able to help you figure out which one of these is the best for your game.